friends, welcome back to the Hooligan Knitter podcast. As always, I am your host and resident hooligan, Sierra, and here's where we talk about my knitting. So let's see, I've only finished one thing since the last time we chatted because cast-on-itis has kind of taken over. I guess I only have 2 new cast-ons. Is that true? No, it feels like I cast on more things. That's bizarre. Anyway, one finished object. I finished my cabled hat. I realized I forgot to say the name of this hat last time. It is the Prospect Terrace hat by McKinley. I think that's it. I'll put it in the description box. But she's done. She's beautiful. And this was knit with a club colorway from, who is this from? The club is the Indigenous Collective from, wow, we're doing great. I'll put it in the description, I guess, but the color is called Old Man Coyote. I know that much. And this was a really fun hat to knit. I did modify it to do a double folded brim. The pattern calls for you to knit it twice as long and then just flip it up and wear it like that. I don't know, I just felt like knitting it together and having it all be one piece. The cables were super easy, super fun, very easy to memorize. So yeah. Was it the best idea to knit an all-over cabled hat with a single ply yarn? No. But in the end, I don't think it turned out that terribly. Should I put it on? I'll put it on. Yeah, I don't know. This yarn is 50% merino, 50% alpaca, so it is very soft, has a lovely halo, and I think it's going to be very nice for the winter. Whenever that comes back, right now it's like 85 degrees in Minnesota, so not really a seasonally appropriate knit, but that's all right. It was really fun. I could definitely see myself making more of these, maybe with applied yarn. But she's cute and I love this color. Thank you again to Alexa from Hey Alexa Knit for sending me this yarn. I love it. This is kind of a vibe, the red shirt with the green hat. Maybe a little Christmassy, but it's all right. All right. That's all I got for finished objects. As far as whips, did I really only cast on 2 things? That's wild. I guess we'll start with the ones that you've seen. I have been working on my Emery sweater by Hooligan Locatelli. I think last time I talked about it, we had just picked up for the front panel. So in the last 2 weeks, we have finished the front panel. We have joined in the round and done like 2.5 inches on the body. Look at those cables. Wow, this is gonna be a work of art. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just cruising in the round now with these cables. once I finish this current ball of yarn, I might go back in and pick up for the collar, just because I feel like, I don't know, I get really excited when the collar of a sweater is completed because it feels like, oh, this is going to be a sweater. It just makes it feel more polished and gives me that like motivation to keep going, I guess. But she's gonna be so beautiful. Anna and Johanna, the besties, are convinced that this is not going to fit me. It will fit me because that's the only option. Cables block out, right? It's gonna be fine, okay? It's gonna be fine. But because they are a bunch of haters, they got in my head a little bit, and so I did cast on extra underarm stitches on both sides. I don't remember how many. It was a lot. It might probably like, oh, there's a cardinal outside. I cast on, I think, like 24 extra stitches. But there's a cable panel under the arm, or not cable, seed stitch. So that's fine. The sweater is gonna fit because that is simply the only option. I am not a cable knitter. I don't really like knitting cables. So me knitting an all over cabled sweater to have it not fit me, it's not an option. So it's going to be fine. It's going to block out, right? It's gonna be fine. It will be fine. It better be fine. It will be. I'm manifesting. Okay. Anyway. Here's another one I think we have seen before. These are a pair of just vanilla socks for my mother-in-law. I finished the first one. It's a little crumpled because these have been living in my purse. Just vanilla socks. The light blue main color is from just Joann Fabrics, their knit and crochet line. I don't remember the colorway name, but this is just a superwash merino nylon blend. I think it's a 75-25. I don't remember. And then the darker blue contrast for the cuff, heel, and toe. It's just Drops Fabel. Again, I don't remember the colorway. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm really bad at this today. But it's Drops Fabel. I'm sure you can find it. It's just blue. But the first one is done, and I've started the second. I just have a cuff and a couple rows of the leg. These are just nice to pick up here and there when I need something that's not an all-over cabled sweater. Yeah. Not too exciting, but I hope she likes them. Her favorite color is blue, so I think these will be a nice, maybe birthday present. Her birthday is this month, or Christmas if I don't finish them in time. We'll see. Okay. Vanilla socks. Done. Okay, let's talk about some things that I have cast on. Actually, I think I was talking about these last time. Maybe. I have another pair of vanilla socks on the needles. They're almost done. First one is done. These are for one of my best friends / roommate, Tim. Just some vanilla socks. Main color is Patons Kroy in the color Turquoise Stripes. And the contrast I did for the cuff and the heel is also Patons Kroy in, it's called Gentry Gray. Am I making that up? But I think that's it. So I think it looks really nice with the main color. So first one's done. Second one is almost done. Oh, and these have been living in my Seunghee Legend project bag that Anna made me. It's so cute. It's like the perfect size for a little sock project. I love it. Thank you, Anna. Anyway, second one is almost done. I finished the foot, the heel, and now I am working on the leg. These could theoretically be done this weekend if I get my shit together. We don't know if that's gonna happen. But yeah. I did 40 rows for the leg on the first one. I'm at row, I think 15 on this one. So the end is in sight. Tim is an artist, and he offered me a print of one of his pieces in exchange for a pair of socks. So that's what we're doing. And yeah, these are just my vanilla sock that I do for all of my vanilla socks. Well, except for that blue pair. I don't know why I did those cuff down. But these are toe up, fish lips kiss heel. How many stitches? I think 68 for men typically. And then I end with a 2x2 cuff. That's all I got. These better be done next time I record, or I'm gonna be really sad. And they just live in my little fruit and veggie bag from Anna. All right. Okay. And then I have had this yarn sitting in my stash for 6 months. Yeah, this was a birthday present, so February. And the original thought process was like a lightweight like scarf, but then I don't know, it didn't feel right. This is a discontinued base from Lana Grossa. I think it was called Comfort, the base. I don't remember what the colorway name was. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description. But this base is a bamboo wool nylon blend, single ply, and it's very, very soft. Wow, what am I doing? And so I kind of wanted this to be a little more like next to skin than like a scarf, but I only have 100 grams of it. And so I decided to cast on a Ripple Bralette by Jessie May, and we're cruising. I've also been roasted for knitting this on a 10-inch circular needle. But here's the thing. I don't have any longer cables available. And I needed to cast this on. So here we are. And it's actually been fine. It's fine. But we've got, I don't know, like 5 inches of 3x3 rib. See, it's kind of like striping, which is fun. And this is very, very soft. I'm so excited to be able to wear this. I forgot what I was going to say. The reason I know this base is discontinued is because I like this fabric so much that I was really strongly considering getting another ball of this and doing like a full length like camisole, but it doesn't exist anymore. So we're gonna make this as long as we can, and that's gonna be that. The pattern calls for the body to be knit, I think 8 inches for my size. I'm gonna see how much I feel comfortable knitting before I split for front and back. Like I said, we've got about 4 inches right now, and I've only used about 30 grams. We'll see. But this has been another one that's really nice to just pick up and knit. I took this to the movie theater with us, actually. We went to go see the new Deadpool Wolverine movie, which is great, by the way. You should go see it if that's your thing. But it was really nice to have this and just knit away 3x3 rib forever, which is actually pretty meditative. This has just turned into me knitting and you watching. Okay, I'm putting it down now. The last whip that I have to show is my husband's annual sweater. So if you've been here for a while, you will know that I knit my husband one sweater a year. That's all he gets. He is a very large man, and I'm a selfish person. So he gets one a year. So we've started year 3. And we're doing some hooligan shit. And that's okay. I'm also making a project vlog about this, which is something new. I just decided to give a try. So if you want like a more in-depth kind of sort of day by day me talking about this, that'll be uploaded at some point. So here was the vision. Here was the thoughts. Hunter specifically requested a colorwork sweater for his sweater this year, which is fine. However, Hunter is a very tall man, and because he's very, very tall, he struggles to find clothes that fit. And with most of his clothes, every time he raises his arms, it becomes a crop top on him because he's enormous. And so I knew that a circular yoke sweater was not going to be the one for him. He already struggles with that sort of, lifting thing with store-bought clothes. I'm not going to knit him a sweater that he doesn't want to wear because it has the same problem. So I put on my thinking cap. Last year for his sweater, he got a Dear Duomo by Seunghee, and he really likes that sweater. I really like that sweater. I have knit that sweater twice and have plans for more. So I thought I would do the Dear Duomo, but add the color work from the Kerr sweater by Clow, the Kroy. And this is what we've got so far. We had to play a little bit of a numbers game because we had to cast on a number of stitches that would work for the colorwork motif of the Kerr, but it also had to be pretty close to a size 5-ish of the Dear Duomo. So we played that numbers game for a little bit, and we got there, obviously. And then I think, because last year what happened was I started knitting the size 5 of the Dear Duomo for Hunter, but then didn't do the waist shaping because he's not in need of waist shaping. And then by the time I got to the point where I needed to split for front and back, because I had not increased any stitches for the waist shaping, I was very close to the stitch count of the size 4. So I think we're gonna do the same thing this time because it fit him really well. where we're just gonna cruise with a stitch count that's pretty close to a size 5. And then after I finish the colorwork charts, I will just consult the Duomo pattern again, and increase or decrease to the stitch count of the size 4. And at that point, I'm just knitting another Dear Duomo, which is a very simple, fun knit, bottom up, drop shoulder. And then Hunter will have his 3rd sweater. The Kerr does call for colorwork on the sleeves at the same height as the colorwork across the abdomen. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. I'll ask Hunter what he wants, but I think I personally prefer it with just the colorwork on the body. So, but that's a problem for future. In the meantime, we are about 15 rows into the colorwork repeat, and I think it looks really nice on camera. I was a little iffy about my tension at first with the colorwork, but now that I've done a couple of rows, I think it looks good. Maybe I need a Kerr sweater. No, we're not doing that. Okay, so there's that. I don't know why I feel like I cast on more things. What am I forgetting? I did cast on a pair of worsted weight socks, but then frogged them a day later because they were an impulse cast on and I didn't want to work on them anymore. So maybe that's it. Oh, for yarn, I am using Lion Brand Pound of Love, which is just an acrylic yarn from like Michael's or Joann's or wherever. It's the same yarn that I used for his sweater last year actually, and it's held up really, really well. It's still very soft, still drapey, no complaints. So I figured I'd, stick with the same base. The colors are something. The white is antique white, and the gray is heathered gray. I think that's it, heathered gray. Or Oxford gray. It might be Oxford gray and then antique white. But I think I would like a colorwork sweater in these colors because it looks very nice. Much to consider. I couldn't remember what needle size I used for his sweater last year, so I just grabbed what I had available and was not on a project. And I'm using a US 10 6mm needle. And this is worsted weight yarn, but I'm a very tight knitter, and I think my gauge looks fine. So there's that. Those are my things. Anything else that I have on the needles that I have not talked about has not gotten any love. Yeah. I am sitting at 10 whips right now, which is the limit for me. I will not let myself cast on anything else until things are finished. And ideally, I would like to finish 2 of the garments that are on my needles before casting on anything else. Or any more garments, I should say. I'll probably cast on another pair of socks, but once the socks that I have on my needles are finished. But as far as what I'm going to cast on next, I should probably cast on the sweater vest that my mother-in-law requested for Christmas. She requested the Goldwyn Folly vest by Thea Goldman. No, Thea Coleman. That's what it is. Which is just a very basic vest, stockinette with ribbing. So that shouldn't be too much of a project. And then socks, I'll probably use the leftovers of the black Patons Kroy contrast that I have going with Tim socks. I'll probably use that as a main color for a nice pair of black socks for myself. And use, I can probably show it actually, this little guy that Anna sent me as my contrast color. We've been calling this the gay bat yarn because Anna knit herself a pair of, I think they're called I'm Batty for Halloween socks by Stone Knits, and she used this for the bats in that color work. So lovingly, this has been called the gay bat yarn. But I think this will be cute with the black main color. Do I have enough? Maybe. We'll find out together. But I thought I'd answer a couple more questions. We did a little Q&A thing for hitting 150 subscribers, and I didn't get through all of the questions last time because there were a surprising number. But I figured I would maybe answer a couple more today. Let's see. So someone asked me what my dream knit has been, or what it is. And my dream knit is, it's called the Super Oversized Dress by Anne van Meerveld, which is a bulky weight, like full length dress. And I think that would be so cozy for winter here. And I don't know, I go on Ravelry sometimes and just look at other people's project pages of that dress. It's not in my future anytime soon, but it is something that I think is in my future because I think it would just be so nice. What was my thing before knitting? Before knitting, I dabbled in cross stitch actually. I don't do it anymore, really. I was never like super into it. It was just something I picked up here and again, or here and there. I actually started a piece for my now husband when we first started dating. It has, or will theoretically someday have all of the characters from Underworld, the video, or Undertale, the video game, and then in the middle, I was going to stitch "You Are Filled with Determination." Maybe I'll show that on the podcast someday. It hasn't been touched in, let's see, we've been together for 6 years this summer. I don't think it's been touched in probably 4.5 years. So realistically, it's not going to get done anytime soon. I would like it to because I think it would be very cute for him to have in his office, but realistically, I have absolutely no desire to cross stitch again. I don't know. I love looking at other people's cross stitch pieces. I think they're beautiful. It's just not something that I feel drawn to anymore, but who knows? Maybe that'll change in the future. Someone asked how I came up with the name Hooligan Knitter. I don't know. Hooligan was just a word that was in my vocabulary like pretty frequently, and I figured that I am just constantly disrespecting patterns, not reading them all the way through, not using recommended needles or yarn, not swatching, you know, swapping out techniques for other techniques because I just don't want to do the ones that they tell me to. It felt fitting that I kind of hooliganize all of the knitting patterns that I call my channel the Hooligan Knitter. Here's some fun lore. I was originally going to call my channel Peppercorn Knits after my cat Pepper, but I don't know. Hooligan Knitter just felt more fitting for me. So here we are. And we'll do 2 more. My highest whip count at one time, I think, was 16. Yeah. I think my highest whip count ever at one time was 16 before I like really had to pump the brakes. I've talked about this before, but I have ADHD, And when I was on medication for that, my whip count hovered between like 5 and 7. And like that was a good number for me because I had projects for different occasions. But then I stopped taking medication for a bunch of different reasons, and my whip count skyrocketed. I was out of control. I'm still not on medication, but we're managing a little bit better now. And then the last one I'll chat about because my voice has decided it doesn't want to be a part of the team anymore. Do I speak another language? I took 4 years of Spanish in high school and I loved it. I did really well in those classes. I had an A all 4 years. And I would have loved to have continued that in college, but it just wasn't in the cards. But I haven't used it. I live in Minnesota. There are not a whole lot of opportunities here for me to use my Spanish, but I don't know. I would like to continue learning it. I did thoroughly enjoy it. It's good for your brain to learn another language. But yeah, I took it for 4 years and then didn't use it for another however many years it's been. So I know I lost some of it, but I think if you just threw me into a Spanish-speaking country, I would probably be able to survive. I don't know, probably not. That's probably overconfident of me to say, but who knows? But yeah, those are my things. What are you knitting on? Are you still knitting summer garments? Have we transitioned to sweaters? What's going on? Where are we at? I'm gonna keep knitting sweaters because I need to finish these. But I think I still have maybe not this year. I have desires to knit more summer garments. I don't know if I have realistic plans to. Yeah, how have you been? Tell me. I'm nosy. Tell me. All right, I'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye, friends.